No, sometimes the game just comes down to very simple things, and I just told the players, or reminded the players, of the two things I really don't like. When we're on offense, I don't like turnovers, and when we're on defense, I don't like fouls. So the game really comes down to those two categories. We got fouled enough times, we went 26 for 30 from the foul line. And we didn't foul them, they went 7 for 11. So I think that's a major part of the game. Turnovers, we had 18, they had 18. So it was even. 18 is really too much for us. A lot of times we're not forcing that many turnovers, so we got to keep that down. But it's a terrific win. I think Central Florida is going to have a heck of a year. They got a lot of speed and quickness and scoring ability. Darius Johnson's a terrific point guard. Sellers is a hell of a player. And they got those big guys that are huge. But our guys did a good job from start to finish, I thought.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about Bensley's efforts on the defensive side of the ball. 5 steals, 4 blocks for you guys tonight.
You know, I've just asked Bensley to do what you see guys in the NBA. Right? Like we had a young man at Georgia Tech in the ACC named Jose Alvarado. And what he did defensively for Georgia Tech, he's now doing for the New Orleans Pelicans, and it's made him an NBA player. There's guys, what's his name? Beverly.
Harlan.
What?
He's at Wichita State, Harlan.
No, not Harlan. Patrick Beverly. Again, an NBA guy who's made his living because he's really made himself a hell of a defender. Bensley has been that way since his freshman year. We're trying to get Christian Watson to do that. If you notice, Christian guarded Darius Johnson for some time. Right? The better he can get, the better that will make our team.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the Final Four banner rising and how much that meant to you and the team?
Yeah, what I said beforehand, I don't know if the audience could hear, the fans, but you know, it was a magical season, and it took a total team effort. But when you look, it's not just our basketball team, it's the university's commitment. So the University of Miami, it's administration, it's faculty. You look at, like, the faculty runs the pep band, Jay Reese runs the pep band, and the cheerleaders. So it takes all that. And our athletic department, you know, Dan Radakovich and the things he's done already to help us improve as a basketball program. And then, of course, the players and coaches, right? The players have to win the game. The coaches can't make shots for them or defend or rebound. But the coaches have to prepare them. And my coaching staff did a great job of that. And then lastly, you can't win without tremendous support from your fans. And you saw it was a great crowd tonight. The student turnout was sensational. We got to keep that up. And if we do, it gives us that home court advantage, which they call the sixth man. And if the students keep coming back, then we will really benefit from their enthusiasm.
Jim, they cut it to 6 points. There are 6 minutes left. What kind of led you guys to kind of pull away? What do you think changed for you guys?
Well, the whole key, they forced some turnovers, and that gave them an opportunity to score before we could defend them. When we didn't turn the ball over, we were able to get to the foul line, because they were reaching in trying to steal, and we got to the foul line and we made our free throws.
Coach, as a whole, I think your team produced or forced, 18 turnovers, had 14 steals. Just what do you think of your team's defense as a whole tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was terrific. It starts with Bensley Joseph, but Wooga Poplar did a very, very good job. Norshad, how many rebounds did he have? You know, part of defense is getting the rebound when we miss, when they miss. So if you look at, we were able to. I thought we out-rebounded them, but we didn't. They out-rebounded us 38-34, so we'll have to work on our blocking out tomorrow.
Jim, what do you think of Wooga's performance, the 23 points, just the 8 shots?
I told you, he's an incredible three-point shooter, incredible pull-up jump shooter. And he can make his free throws. He's great going to the basket. As long as he stays in control of his own abilities, he's going to have a sensational year.
What do you think of the bench tonight as a whole? I know you touched on Christian a little bit.
Yeah, we need everybody. everybody on our bench to just step it up a little bit more so I can count on them a little bit more. Norshad picks up an early foul. We needed Michael Nowako to give us some quality minutes. Now, Matt Cleveland is playing his tail off and gets a little fatigued. We need AJ Casey to really give us quality minutes. I even thought about playing Norshad, AJ, and Matt Cleveland together because they kept backing us in and, you know, being very physical and around the basket. And but I never went to that because those three guards, they're really hard to take out. Bensley, Nigel, and Wooga is so good at scoring the ball. What else? What'd you ask, Chris?
That's what I have. I think you answered it.
I did.
Coach, when UCF went to their full court pressure in the second half, just how do you think Nigel and Bensley and the rest of your guards kind of handled that sort of?
Well, initially, we got into a rush, and when you hurry, you're going to make mistakes. But we settled down and did a better job, and again, got fouled when they were, pressing us.
Coach. 17 offensive rebounds you give up. That's not a number that you'd like. What'd you see?
They're a hell of an offensive rebounding team. They're big. Those three big guys, Payne and Silla and Diallo, gigantic. And then you have an athlete like Sellers who goes hard to the glass. And they live in the paint. I don't know if we outscored them in the paint. Oh, let me see. They outscored us 46-30 because they live in there. When someone gets into the paint, someone has to help. And when they help, then that means someone is free to go to the offensive glass. And they did, very effectively.
Coach, I'm wondering, just as a whole, the first two games you're averaging about mid-90s points, and obviously you want more sample size, but were you expecting the offense to flow this seamlessly this early on?
Well, if you were observing our practices, our major concern is we couldn't defend because the first team was scoring in the 90s and the second unit was scoring in the 80s. So we've had great success in scoring the ball in practice. Now we're seeing we're able to do it also in games.
Just your thought, quick turnaround. Obviously, you've seen FIU already.
Yeah, it's a local rivalry. They're a neighbor of ours. We've played them in several times since I've been here, and they press and do a lot of stuff that we saw tonight. So we'll have to be ready for that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.